everyone, and welcome to the Back to Blighty podcast. My name is Becky and I'm joining you from the south coast of England in Sussex, where I live with my partner, our son and our Springer Spaniel called Molly. So welcome if you're a new viewer and welcome if you're a returning viewer. It's lovely to have you with me today. This is where I talk about all things yarn related, so knitting and spinning and some acquisitions and things like that. So hope you're all settled down with a beverage of your choice and a project in your hand, and we shall get chatting about what I've been up to. I've just finished work and I've got 2 weeks off, so I thought I would pop on here and just say hi. The community around this podcast and other podcasts is such a lovely one to be a part of, and it's really nice for me to be spending a bit of time with you as well. So let's get on with the goodies, shall we? First of all, I have some finished objects, some whips, of course. We've all got whips. We never get rid of whips. I've got some new cast-ons, I've got some spinning, I've got some acquisitions and some other bits and bobs at the end. So thank you for all your lovely comments about hoping my jab went well. I had my COVID vaccination a few weeks ago now, and it was all right. I had a couple of days where I was a little bit under the weather and bought some yarn because I was delirious after my COVID vaccine. I wasn't really, it was my excuse for buying more yarn. But yeah, other than that, it was absolutely fine. So I hope if you've had yours, you're doing well. And if you're waiting to have yours, I hope you haven't got too long to wait. If you can hear a little bit of tippy tapping, it's Molly just getting up and having a turn around. She's a bit old now. She's 13, that's my dog. She's 13, and so she's a little bit arthritic, so every now and then she has to kind of get up and have a little move around, as do we all when we get to a certain age. Anyway, I am wearing my first finished object, and this is the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit, and it's just a tank top. That's what I call them. Some of you might call them vests, but I'm a child of the 70s and we always called them tank tops. It's a really simple pattern. I will pop a picture up in here, and I think that in her pattern she used some lace weight and some fingering weight held double. I actually went for a DK sort of slash worsted weight yarn that I dyed up myself. So this yarn I was making the fonder out of. You might remember a few podcasts ago I talked about it, and I hadn't done bobbles before, and I was really enjoying the pattern. The pattern looked beautiful, the yarn was looking great with it, but I don't think I would have ever worn it because it wasn't me. So I ripped it back and thought I would make something a bit more simple and something for the work wardrobe, because for work I have to wear things a little bit smarter. So my stomach's rumbling. I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, I will pop a picture in here of me wearing it so you can see it a bit more properly. So it's kind of a bit cropped. It's not really fitted, but it fits well, and I am really, really pleased with how it turned out. I especially like the cast off, so I'm going to turn around and show you. So it's got this Italian bind off, which I haven't done before, but I really like it. It makes the rib really, really neat, so I'm really pleased with that. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube, either Italian bind off or Italian cast off, and it's just a really lovely, lovely finish. You use a needle to do it, so it takes a little bit longer. But I didn't do it on the bottom actually, and I kind of wish I had. But you know what it's like, you get halfway through a pattern and your brain sort of goes, I don't need to look at the rest of it because I know it all. And clearly you don't. I'm not going to undo it, it's fine. And it will look really nice with a collared shirt for work. I mean, at the moment I'm just wearing my balloon sleeve blouse, and this doesn't really work as well, but you know, you get the idea. So really pleased. It's a lot more kind of toned down in real lighting, so you will have seen that in the clip, but really pleased with it. Really simple pattern. I'll definitely make another one, and I really fancy making one in a fingering weight yarn and a like a Surrey alpaca or something like that, because it does look really, really lovely. So yeah, so that's the first finished object. The second finished object is my Sparkling Leaves sweater. And you might have seen a picture that I posted on Instagram. I've got to say that. You can find all the links below to everything down there in the description box. This is the Sparkling Leaves sweater by Jill Karina, and I absolutely love this sweater. It fits perfectly. The yarn is beautiful, the pattern was fun to do, and yeah, really liking it. It's very autumnal, but I shall give you a close-up of the yoke, which is just so pretty. Now, I did make a few just little small changes. Changes I made were that I didn't do the colour work on the cuffs or the bottom of the sweater because I just wanted the party to be on the yoke. I didn't want any fussy bit at the bottom because it looks really nice, but I wouldn't have liked it. It's not the kind of thing that I would wear. So I changed that. The other thing that I changed was that she does a pearl bump. So you kind of have like a false seam. And I did that on my Chauncey sweater, which was the first colourwork sweater that I ever made. And I didn't like it. And I think it's because what I like about knitting in the round is that there are no seams. So yeah, so I just didn't do that either. Otherwise, everything was exactly the same as the pattern. I used the larger size needles. I loved the fact that the short rows were done in the rib of the neckband. I really like that because they're hidden really, really well and you can't see at all where those short rows are. It's just perfect. And yeah, what else? I don't think there's anything else to tell you about that. Oh, I did the shaped sleeve. So there's two options. There's either a straight sleeve or one that decreases, and I did the decreases on mine because this sweater, I made it so that it's kind of fitted, not snug, but I just, yeah, didn't want baggy sleeves with it. I'm really, really happy with this. The yarn is absolutely beautiful and it's blooming really, really nicely already, especially the green. The green is juniper and the brown is barley. John Arbon Harvest Hues, but the heather in it is just so beautiful, and there's like these tealy blues and greens, and oh, it's just the most beautiful yarn. Really soft. It's woolly, but it's not scratchy. It's just beautiful, really lightweight as well. So really, really happy with my Sparkling Leaf sweater. The colourwork yoke isn't mindless. You have to keep checking on the chart because it's not a geometric pattern. You know, sometimes you get a geometric pattern and you kind of think, oh yeah, I know where I'm going. And with this, you kind of don't. You have to keep looking at it, but really, really love it. It's going to get a lot of wear. Maybe not now at this time of year, but definitely come the autumn, it's going to get a lot of wear. So really, really happy that that one's finished and ready to be worn. Okay. What else have I got? I've got my whips. Now, whips wise, we've got a few. We've got the crystal shawl, which I'm not going to show you. I've done a bit of it, but I haven't done very much. I think because I've had a lot of mindless knitting with finishing off my Sparkling Leaves and also making the slip over, I haven't done it, and that is normally my mindless project, so I'm going to get back on that. So I've done a bit. I think I've done the first increase section and then it works flat and then you decrease, and I'm pretty much through the first increase section, but there's no point in me showing you that because it won't look a great deal different to the last time I showed it. So hopefully next time I'll have a bit more and I will show you how I'm getting on with that. I have been working on my A Time to Reap mitts, which is by Melissa, and I can't remember the surname, and I know it's one that I can't pronounce, so I will pop it on the screen here. So I was hoping that I might have these done by the time I did this podcast, but as I said, I've had other mindless knitting to do, so these have kind of taken a bit of a back seat, but I have done a little bit. So this pattern has these lovely little lace cuffs, which are really pretty. and then they're plain, and then at the top, obviously where your fingers come out, you have another lace panel. And I am making this out of undyed yarn. It's just 100% wool, Highland wool, I think, so it's quite sturdy. Part of this is an experiment because I want to see how it wears, because I want to know if I can use it for socks. But also I want to dip dye them, so I'm going to do that after I've knitted them. So I've got past the thumb increases, only just, and yeah, they're working out really nicely. They're kind of a slightly slouchy number on the hand. I'll pop one on so you can see. So yeah, so you have this lovely, just turn my balloon sleeves up, you have this lovely lace cuff, and then kind of a bit of a slouch going on. So yeah, so that's kind of how they're going to sit, and I kind of really like that slouchy bit. Yeah, as you can see, done my thumb, but yeah, I need to get on with that. Now the pattern says to do like 3 inches to finish off, and I measured between this bit and this bit, and I kind of thought 3 inches, it's going to be like there. Maybe I've got short fingers, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do 1 inch of stockinette, and then I'm going to do the lace, so because I think that will fit better. Also make it get off the needles a bit quicker, so win-win. But yeah, they're coming on okay. I'll get on with them, but I've got some other exciting things on my needles which have kind of taken my focus, I guess. Let's see, what shall I show you next? So, a bit earlier I was talking about my Chauncey and how it had the pearl bumps up the sleeve, and it was like a seam. So I bought some yarn from the Border Mill, which I showed you last time, which is 100% Shetland, and it is beautiful. Oh, so nice. And these are the colours I went for, and that is pretty close to what it looks like in real life. So I bought this because I wanted to make a Chauncey, because if you remember, I shrunk my Chauncey to a point where I could only wear it with dungarees, and I really loved the pattern. In fact, it was my first ever colourwork sweater, and I bought it with yarn that I got from my first ever knitting show, which was Unravel in Farnham. And I made it using knit by numbers, which I really loved. It pilled a bit, and I did have a comment on here saying that someone was spinning with John Arbon knit by numbers, and that they were really worried because I said it had pilled. Now, when I say it had pilled, it wasn't really bad pilled, and I suppose we have to remember that it is a merino, and merino is a short staple, so it will pill because that's what happens. The ends kind of puff out, and that's what causes the pilling. But you know what? You gave it a shave, and it was absolutely fine. It came out as good as new. So yeah, the pilling wasn't really terrible, but it did pill a bit, which, you know, that's kind of what you have to put up with as well with knitwear to a certain extent. But I wanted to make another Chauncey, and I wanted one that was going to be a bit baggier so that I can wear it without dungarees. And I cast on with this yarn, and this is as far as I've got. Hold on, just trying to find where the back and where the front is, because it's all rolled up so I can't see. Okay, so here we are. This is as far as I've got. So it's coming out really beautifully. And this yarn, when it's in a ball like this, it kind of feels a little bit like twine. It's not soft. It's kind of, yeah, just a bit firm. But as I'm knitting with it, it's really blooming. In fact, if I show you on here, you can see there that it's quite tightly spun, and there's not a lot of halo, and it's quite defined. And then if I show you the colour work, you can see that where the warmth of my hands is kind of affecting the fibres, and it's going really soft and fluffy. So there you go, you can see how much it's softening up, and it's really beautiful. Now, I do get some questions about colour work, and I try and give people really honest answers and what I think, but I'm not an oracle. I don't know everything about colour work. But what I do know is when you look at this fibre, you can see that is quite open, so you can see there's little gaps in the stitches. But the great thing about using 100% wool like this is that when that is washed, those fibres will fill those gaps. They'll kind of puff up and fill up those gaps, and it will be absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to look amazing. Bit more spring summer like than my sparkling leaves, but yeah, it's such a nice colour. So blue suits me, so I'm really enjoying that again. It's such a good pattern. Isabel Kramer. You can get it on Ravelry. I'm not sure if she sells it anywhere else, but yeah, it's worth looking into. Really, really good. Okay, next up I have a new cast on, which is in my handspun. So the lovely Lynn from Calon Yarns and I are embarking on a spin and knit along, just together to keep each other company and egg each other on, really. And we are going to be making the Sneffeld shawl, which is a colourwork shawl by Fibre Tales. And it's a steeked pattern. So this is kind of the precursor for my dream sweater, which I showed you a swatch of that last time. I haven't done any more of that. But I'm going to have to steek that. So this is kind of like the practice run. And we thought we would use some of our hand spun to make the Sneffeld shawl. And I will pop a picture in here. It is the most beautiful colourwork shawl. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how it looks when it's finished. So I'm going to show you the yarns first. So these are my yarns, and this is Devonia Top. I think it's BFL. It's got BFL in it, and it's got Wensleydale in it. Is it Exmoor Horn? I really can't remember. I will pop it on the bottom here. So I've got these three, which are all John Arbon's Devonia Top. And they are just gorgeous. Now this came out a worsted weight. So the pattern is for a DK weight shawl. So mine is going to be a little bit bigger. And I've also got some white, which is just John Arbon's 100% Corriedale. So yeah, so that's what they look like all together. And so with this shawl, it's knit in the round, and then you steek it. So it's a bit of an odd shape to look at the moment, but I'm going to show you anyway so that you get the idea. So this is as far as I've got. And you can see here my colour work. And I was a bit worried about the light green and the dark green not having enough contrast, but I actually really like that kind of more blended tone to it. I really like that contrast. So it just shows that actually, although high contrast, that's what people recommend, sometimes have a low contrast, it still works. It kind of depends on what you're looking for, I guess. So yeah, so it's a bit of a funny shape, because this is where I'm going to be steeking. This is the centre of the shawl, and you can see these lovely slip stitch details. It is blowing out a bit, it's a bit darker. It's kind of like that colour, so it's a lot darker. What I didn't realise was that it's 3 strands, 3 different coloured colour work, so it's proper stranded knitting. Now I've only done like fair isle knitting where you're only using 2 colours across a row. This is 3 colours across a row, and I kind of, yeah, I wasn't that impressed because I hadn't thought about that. I think I was so mindful of the steeking and how to work it in the round that I hadn't got to that point. But once I had got to that point, I was kind of down here and I was like, well, I've got to carry on now. And yarn management was a bit of a pain, but it wasn't too bad. And I really love the pattern. So yeah, really, really enjoying that. So I've just finished the 3 colour section. And now it goes into a section with the light green, and it's got like, it looks like snow with little white flecks all over it, like a flea stitch type thing. So yeah, really enjoying that. So no pressure, Lynn. Just saying, started mine. Really enjoying that one. So at the moment, spinning wise, I am spinning up some more John Arbon in the 2 greens. So I haven't actually got a lot of spinning to show you this time because, you know, I've shown it before and you've kind of seen it. I went up a needle size because my yarn is thicker, so I know that I'm going to need a bit more yardage, and that's fine. It's going to be so thick, but I was a bit worried that it was going to kind of be like, I was going to look like Bod. Does anyone remember Bod? It's kind of like a cartoon character with like a very sort of triangular body. Yeah, wasn't going for that look. But I think because of the Wensleydale being a long wool, it is going to drape, and you can see it's not stiff, and it's hard to tell when it's in the round. But yeah, if anything, it's going to be a great camping shawl. So I'm really looking forward to it. Love it. So yeah, that is on my needles at the moment, and I'm enjoying that. It's quite hard going actually on the old wrists, and I found that I've had to adjust my knitting style to accommodate that and the 3 colours. But I think now that I'm back onto 2 colours, I think we'll be good to go. It will be fine. Okay, spinning. So I've been spinning, doing a bit. And last time I spoke to you, I was spinning a rainbow. And it's finished. So this fibre was from Spin Jones, and it was called Muddle, and it was merino, Manx, Lowton and Tussar silk, and I'm going to unskein it a little bit so that you can kind of see a bit more of the colours. So here we go. So we've got the pinks and purples, and then the blues, greens and yellows. So yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. So I applied this with a 2-ply, and I split the rainbow in half, 2-plied it, and so yeah, so you get some bits which I really love, like this green here. You can see here where I have both strands have been green, but then it's changed and gone into the blue with one, and it's kind of done this like graduated or gradiated, I don't know. Anyway, really love it, and I really want this to be a colourwork yoke in a sweater, and I have bought some yarn to go with that. This came out an Aran weight, and I'm going to show you what I bought to go with it because I think it's going to look really lovely. Oh, this is where it all falls apart and it doesn't look as pretty as I would like it to. So I have bought some Jameson Smith Aran, and I am going to make a cardigan. It's going to be a steep cardigan, and I'm not sure what it's going to be like yet because I'm going to make it up as I go along. I'm going to use the Strange Brew book, which I haven't used yet to create anything. So I'm going to try and create my own thing. So yeah, this is Jameson Smith Aran, and it's beautiful, really lovely. I don't know, it's called Sholmit. I don't know what that means, but it's 100% pure Shetland. It's like the Shetland podcast, isn't it? But yeah, I think they're going to be beautiful together. Obviously, I'm going to have to be careful, being a redhead, that I don't have the yellow at the top. So I think I'm probably going to go more that way and have the purple and blue at the top, and then this at the bottom. Yeah, I'm making a right pig's ear now. It won't look like that. Hopefully it will look better than that. So yeah, so that's going really well, or the spin's gone really well, and I'm really pleased, and it's a really even spin actually. I'm really happy, really happy with that. I kind of think my half hour a day is, although I haven't done it much this week, is certainly making a big difference to how my spinning's looking. But yeah, love that. The other thing that I am spinning at the moment is from a fleece. So I got a fleece from the lovely Susanna at Bark and Romney's, and yeah, got a fleece from her. It was the most beautiful fleece, and I have got rid of all the big bits of poo and vegetable matter and things like that, and I think it had been skirted before, but there were still a few bits that needed to come out. And I have also sorted it, and I'm now in the process of washing it and combing it. And I thought, instead of showing you that here, I thought I might do a little kind of episode on that over the Easter holidays and kind of show you the process that I'm going through with that, which is really, really exciting. But I have started spinning with it, and it's just brings me so much joy that I have this like big lump of, you know, big pile of fleece, and I've made yarn. Like, it's magic. So yeah, so that's really exciting, but that is going to be a whole other vlog or something like that, and I will do that over the Easter holidays. So one thing I did have to buy, did you like my segue there onto acquisitions? One thing I had to buy was some wool combs. So this is for combing the fleece so that I can prep it ready to spin with it, and I shall show you. They're quite lethal. These were from Wing and Woolwork, and this is what they look like. Yep, I do have a few little cuts from these, but yeah, it's really hard work actually. It's amazing how much work goes into preparing a fleece, but these are really, really lovely to use. They come on this little stand that you can actually pop onto a worktop, and the idea is that you slide in a comb like so. There's a little pin that goes in to hold it secure. You then put that onto a worktop with some G-clamps, and then you comb. So yeah, so you can get quite a bit of weight behind it. But I love the way it all stacks back up onto this bit of wood, which is kind of really, really nifty. So yeah, it also comes with a diz, because you can card yarn, card fleece, and you can comb fleece, and I really love working with top, and so I wanted some wool combs, and they come with this little diz as well, so that I can make roving out of it. So yeah, that all sits on there, and it's all tidy. Oh, it's all tidy. That's not supposed to happen. Anyway, so yeah, so I got those. So I will do a little vlog about my fleece to fibre, I suppose it is, journey, which is really, really exciting. And Romney fleece is so good. It's so nice. Okay, what else happened? I bought some Jameson Smith, which I've already shown you, which I really like. And also, after I had my COVID vaccination, I was sort of laying in bed and I wasn't feeling too wonderful. Nothing major, just felt a bit under the weather, a bit flu-like for a couple of days. So I just did some yarn shopping, you know, just window shopping. And then I thought I would really like a cardigan for the spring and summer that is a bit drapey, sort of a balloony sleeve, and I have got a pattern in mind, and I can't remember the name of the designer, and I can't remember the name of the pattern, and I didn't write that down. So I will pop a picture of the cardigan in here, and I will also pop the name on the screen so that you know. So that is my intention for this yarn, and this is Yarnadelic, again by John Arbon. And it is just this really pretty grey green with these lovely, lovely pinks and blues. And it's so pretty. And this yarn is called Nobody Knows. It's a sport heavy 4-ply, and it is 100% Corriedale. And Corriedale, again, is a long staple. It's really lovely to spin with. I think it's one of my favourite things to spin. because it's so easy and the staple length is so long. But because of the length of the staple, so the length of the hair in effect, because it's a long wool, it gives it more drape. And I have got a pattern in mind for this. I'll pop it on the screen and I will put the name below. But yeah, love this colour. I thought it was more blue, but it's not, it's green. And I really like it. So I got a few skeins of that. And that is my plans, or that is my plan for this yarn, which is going to be really, really lovely. I did buy some fibre, but it was just the Devonia. I couldn't think then, the Devonia for my Snefeld. So I haven't got anything else to show you on that front at the moment. So I think I've been pretty good this month. The other thing that I did buy though was I bought the Yarnitecture book. And this is brilliant. So if you are a spinner, or if you're thinking of getting into spinning and knitting with it, this book is just brilliant. It has got so much information on how to plan and use your hand spun in your project. So I'm really looking forward to learning a bit more about that. Yeah, so over the Easter holidays, I'm going to tuck in. There are some patterns in the back. So there you go. There's some colourwork mittens in there. What else is there? Just give you a quick flick through. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of a jazzy sweater there, but I really like the way the lines play. I don't think I would use that kind of colourway, but I do like the direction. So yeah, so really looking forward to having a look at that, and it includes 12 designer patterns apparently. So yeah, exciting stuff. So otherwise, just a little bit of a roundup really of what I've been doing. So I've been working hard, as I said. Today is Thursday, it's Good Friday tomorrow, and I am now off 2 weeks. So I am planning on doing lots of prepping fleece, lots of knitting, and lots of gardening as well. So I've been starting to clear the garden of all this kind of stuff that needs clearing out, and yeah, planting some seeds, things like that over Easter, which I'm really looking forward to. The weather here has been really quite nice. We had a little bit of a warm one the other day, and so I went skating with the lovely Thea. We've only been out a couple of times since the winter, but it was so nice to go out and skate again. Not going to lie, fell over within about 2 seconds. Have a massive bruise on my hip, but you know, that's kind of, it goes with the territory. So I would say if you want to start skating, or if you thought about it, you've got to sort of not worry about if you're going to fall over, because you're going to fall over. Sometimes it will hurt and sometimes it won't. But I would say we went out yesterday, we went along the seafront, and there were some new skaters that were clearly, you know, just starting, and no helmet or elbow pads or knee pads, or not even any wrist guards. And it kind of frightens me, because I kind of think, you know, you could really do yourself some damage. And yeah, I always go completely geared up. I think partly that's because I skate in skate parks as well. It's kind of the norm in skate parks, so I don't even think about it. But yeah, I would say if you're planning on skating, please at least wear a helmet. I mean, I have hit my head about 3 times last year on a ramp, and yeah, your helmet is so important. So anyway, yeah, just a little bit of a preach there about safety, and also, you know, I'm getting older, I can't afford to, you know, do myself a really big injury. So what else? Yeah, Easter's coming up, and so my dad's going to be coming over Easter Sunday, which is really nice, and so I'm going to spend some time with him. And yeah, and I'm hoping to get out and about a bit more in nature, so I will be taking you along with me. In fact, you should have seen at the beginning, I took a little video of the magnolia tree that is outside my dad's place. It is so beautiful. It's the most amazing tree, and the shape of it is just stunning. So yeah, so hopefully you will have seen a bit of that as well. otherwise we are all keeping well. Lockdown restrictions are going to be easing a little bit, which is really nice. I know a lot of people out there are on their own, so it'll be nice for people to be able to meet up with others. It's really important. So yeah, so positive times ahead, I hope. But I hope you are all keeping well where you are, and I hope you're knitting and spinning and crocheting and doing all the lovely things with yarn. So it's really lovely to have you with me. Please leave a comment, tell me what you're working on or what your plans are over Easter, and give it the thumbs up if you like it to help share the love. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.